Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Steve, your host. In our continuing Sunday side builds, we are working on DML's Panzer III. Now, it's a great kit. The instructions really let it down. I've got some updates to the instructions. I'll show you what I'm doing. You guys sit back, enjoy the video, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Alrighty then. All right, we are at step 9 now, and step 9, there was some problems with the instructions. I'll just go over those with you just for a minute. Really, it was K11 was marked as K12, and K12 was marked as K11. So you just need to be careful when you cut these out. Fortunately, the way these pieces are made is they only go in one way. So even if you get the call-outs wrong, you can only put them in there one way, so I guess that's a saving grace. The other thing I just needed to watch out for, K63 are these guys, and K63 is right here. They were pretty tough to find on the sprues. There's a number of A sprues in this kit. You just got to find the right A sprue, because what they had done was different models, different makes of this Panzer III from Dragon, and they just included the different sprues that you needed to get an H model. So just something to look out for. Just some minor cleanup, and these pieces fit pretty well. I put the air intakes on. I'm not going to put the photo etch on until last. I did have a bit of confusion when it comes to the tow ropes. The call out is B16, and this is actually B16. It's a single cable instead of the two cables. So what really it is, this is the standard Panzer III cable configuration for the tow cables. So fortunately, B16 is right next to the other one. So this is the one you want, even though in the call out, that's the one that that it's telling you to use. This is the one you want, if that makes sense, and hopefully it does. The other thing I had some issues with was again, it's the call outs here. A59 is the piece they call out. And A59, as you can see, and I've already got this built up so it's too late, A59 does not have these fingers that are shown in the instructions. And let me just get the instructions into view. A59 does not have these fingers, right? So this is actually V1 is the part that you want, and I didn't figure that out till later. Already had it glued up, so I'm not going to take it apart. I'm just going to transplant these fingers to this, and it shouldn't be a problem. The other thing I had a problem with, and it just, thankfully, A63 and A10 are right next to each other. It calls out for A63. A63 will not fit into this, to the locating hole for this. A10 is the piece that you want. So just word to the wise. Thankfully, this piece A24 went on with no problem, so that was fine. And just moving down, while I've got this piece in my hand, it somewhat frustrating. You get called out for U9, and let me just bring that up here. I'll get him in the picture. So you get this call out for U9, and this piece, the way it's formed here and the way it's molded, looks entirely different from actual U9. So they want you to put the driver's vision blocks in there. This piece fit in okay. This piece has a tab on the inside that on this diagram fits into that slot there, but there is no slot here. So I had to cut that off. Dry fitted this to that. I'm not going to assemble that I'm not going to glue this piece on until I get it right. The other thing is, you see there's no holes here, right? This piece has holes I've got to fill, because even with the even with the vision block in there, you can still see them. Not a problem, it's just typical model stuff, but it's just confusing. The other thing I had, U2 was the applique armor for this, right? So when I put this applique armor on, this side was fine, but this side extended way out to the side here, and that just wasn't right. So I cut it back to match the way it looks here, the way it looks there. So I think I got a pretty good cut on that. Overall, not a problem, but just disappointed just how ill-fitting that was, that it really was slid out here. And I can't imagine on the real vehicle that it was supposed to slide out that far. So either way, not a problem. It's just things you have to look out for. Coming up here to the front, and again, not a problem, but just a bit disappointing in the way the instructions have. They have you put these hatches on, and they call out the hatches here. And the hatches are V16, V15. Not a problem, right? Just make sure when you put these on that this is orientated forward, this is most forward, and the blank one is in the back. You got to do a bit of cleanup on that. Not a problem. I had to shave a bit there on both hatches. It was a bit of a tight fit. I had to shave a bit on both hatches. Bit of a tight fit. Thing that I was confused about was they didn't give you the call out for this. In a way they did. They just made it on here. So you've got V15 that goes here, and they assume that V17 goes there, right? And okay, it's not the way the rest of the instructions are laid out. That's kind of a, yeah, you kind of use that when it's an identical piece on the other side of the hull, on the other, the opposite side of the vehicle. A little frustrating. It took me a bit to figure that out. Again, I had to do some cleanup here, and unfortunately there's a little bit of a gap in there, and with some paint and some tender loving care, that'll be overcome. The applique armor here went pretty well, bottom and top. The other thing I needed to just kind of sit and figure out was, it's down here, and I'm pretty sure they have these inner pieces reversed. So really, when you're done with this, what it should look like is you have these towing mounts. They should be angled in. The longer piece should be on the outside, shorter pieces on the inside, and the reinforcement ribs that you can see here should be on the outside of each one. And it's not really well laid out in the instructions. Just make sure you do your dry fitting. Don't glue anything in until you're absolutely sure that you got it right, because you'll just end up taking it back apart. So overall, what I've got is the kit is slowly building up, and it's an excellent kit. Other than the instructions, the fit is really, I think the fit is really good. I haven't used any putty yet. I've had to shave some parts, but overall it's coming together. These smart kits are billed as something that you could just, not a lot of parts, and you could bang them together. That's not the case. This has got a lot of parts to it, and the instructions aren't the best. DML has a reputation for poor instructions, and they have not done anything to to improve that reputation. All right, you guys take care. I'm going to have Hans play us out. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Bye now.